All right, guys, the time has come. It's time to tell the truth about Furio Finance. So Furio has just made it within the last week or two past the 100-day mark. Now, usually projects get rugged in the first couple of months. As soon as they get a bunch of TVL in there, the developers go in some backdoor and then take all the liquidity, leaving the investors with nothing to show for it. It's extremely common in the DeFi space. If you've been involved in very many projects, you know you've probably been rugged a couple times yourself. Now, each passing day that goes by, you're less and less likely to get rugged, and you're less and less likely for there to be exploits in the system because people would have already found those. Now, for the remainder of the projects that don't actually get rugged, 90% of those fail in the first 90 days. It's usually a combination of the tokenomics, there's not enough community support, and so on. So to get past that 100-day mark and still be thriving is really important, and it bodes well for the project. And so even though I'm always skeptical, but also very cautiously optimistic when I get into new projects, I'm always a little bit surprised when one actually does really well, and I got to make sure I give credit where credit is due. So Furio has quickly become one of my favorite projects ever in the DeFi space. And that's due to several different factors. The overall functionality, like the user experience is incredible. They built a really solid team. They've continuously added to this ecosystem build out they're working on. And one of the main things is the speed in which they deliver those new utilities. The team is just pumping out additional use cases one after the other. And with these ROI platforms, that is very much what you have to do. An ROI platform will launch. There's a bunch of hype behind it, a bunch of people pile in, and that will give it a little bit of runway. But I would say that zero ROI platforms can run all by themselves with just one protocol and not adding anything to an ecosystem. I know some projects say that they can survive all on their own with just the one protocol. I don't think that's actually true. Even with a lot of community support, I feel like you just have to onboard new users at a rate that's almost impossible to keep paying people out whatever percentage is the daily percentage for the ROI protocol. So most developers know that, and they say, okay, once we launch the token, we're going to start developing new things in the future, so there's more reasons to hold the token, and that's why you build out an ecosystem. Very few developers and teams have really tried to build out ecosystems, but it seems like the ones that have, they're all very different, and that's the same case with Furio. So Furio touts that you can gain up to 2.5% per day. And that's actually not the rate that it pays out, because of course I don't think that would be sustainable. I don't think any project's been able to just pay out 2.5% per day, but it allows you to grow at that rate. And then as you claim, it drops your tiers down. And if you're claiming every day, or even most of the time, it's going to drop it down to 0.5%. And Drip has already proven that it's possible to sustain a 1% daily ROI protocol, as long as you've got good code. So the variable APR, the way it's set up, makes this project a lot more sustainable, and then they're adding a ton of things to it. I'm going to list off a few of the things they've worked on, but I know I'm going to miss some because they've just been delivering one after the other. So I'll just hit a few of the updates that have been meaningful lately. First off, they refreshed the whole UI, looks super clean. Really loving the way this is working. They've got something called the Furio pool. And the Furio pool, of course, is a pool that allows you to stake Furio and USDC as a liquidity pair into the system and then earn an APR. Now, as you can see, it's relatively recent. There's only 496 stakers in the system, but their APRs are absolutely insane. All-time APR, 132%. The 14-day average, 154%. So think about it in terms of you staking money into your savings account, and whatever percentage rate the bank pays you is a fraction of a percent. Really don't make money on that, especially with inflation. Most really good staking protocols, especially with anything that has to do with a stable coin, they're paying out up to 40%, which is still an absolutely incredible return. Could you imagine staking $1 million and making $400,000 on that without actually having to sacrifice your principal? It's absolutely insane. So anyway, you create the LP, you drop it in here, and it's currently paying the all-time average 132%. So that's a great way to utilize the pool to grow your stablecoin balance. Now, also in the next 2 weeks, they're going to be adding a little button here that will allow you to take a free claim. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just compounding. I'm not claiming anything, but it will allow me to take a free claim that won't impact my 2.5% that I'm making, my ROI, my daily ROI percentage. And it will allow me to take that claim and stuff it over in the Furio pool so I can add and gain some USDC. So that's going to be fantastic, and that's going to be out in the next couple of weeks. So aside from that, adding the Furio pool, doing the new UI, they've also implemented already, which was very fast, fiat onboarding. So this will allow you to purchase your USDC or your BNB, right? You need BNB for gas, you need USDC to actually purchase the Furio tokens. So that was a phenomenal addition, and it just makes life a lot easier for people who are trying to get onboarded to a new system. So that's already in place, and that's something to be very, very bullish about. Like I said, the easier it is to get in, the better for new investor adoption. Next up, they already successfully implemented an LMS. Now, an LMS is a liquidity management system. And let me just jump over to the chart real quick. So this is the chart for like the last 10 days. As you can see, we're stuck right at 550. Now, I've said it before in previous videos, but if you haven't seen those, a liquidity management system basically is price control. They've got a pool of tokens and USDC dollars that sit over on the sidelines. And when the price gets too high up here at the top of the range, they will sell some tokens from that pool, pushing the price down. And when the price gets low at the bottom of the range, they will use the USDC that's in that liquidity pool to purchase it up, therefore increasing the price. So as long as the liquidity management system stays in place and there's enough liquidity in that separate pool that's kept off to the side, then theoretically they can keep the price right at 550 forever. Now, Furio is about to do something super cool. Furio just announced that they're going to launch their Furbot, which is an automated market trading tool. These are going to be NFTs that signify your ownership in one of these trading bots, let's say. So 5,000 of these things are going to be available. They're going to sell for like $200 or something USDT. They'll go for sale on 10/11, but basically what it's going to do is it's going to trade for you. They've got these bots running already, and what they've been able to average in trading is 8 to 10% a month. So some months, of course, with trading will be higher. Some months, of course, will be lower, but it netted out to an average of 8 to 10%, which for trading is actually really good. So they built this from the ground up. I know that Horde has something similar like this. They're about to launch their own version of like a trading bot that'll help out their system. But Furio is doing it also, but they're two completely different systems. Furio isn't licensing it kind of like they did the LMS system. So it sounds like these Furbots are going to trade in a few different markets, different equities markets, cryptocurrency, commodities, etc. But it's basically bot trading if you're familiar with it all. It's all controlled by what you put into the system. If there's a certain price range, it will buy in. If there's a certain price drop, it'll sell. It's all automated, but it is complicated to do because you're constantly tweaking everything to make sure that your trading bot is optimized for the most success. But they worry about that side of the issue. All you have to do is buy the NFT and you own one of these little trading bots. Now in reality, you don't actually probably own the trading bot. It's probably the trading bots are probably doing their own thing and you just own a sliver of it. But if you own one NFT, then you get that portion of the profits. If you own two, then of course you would get double that, and so on. So you can buy as many of these things as you want, but there is a maximum cap of 5,000 of these NFTs available. Like I said, that goes on sale on 10/11, and I plan on getting at least one. Now here's where it gets interesting. I'll put the link to this article down below so you can read it if you'd like, but here's where it gets interesting. 20% of the USDC that's sitting in this pool for the LMS is going to be traded using one of those trading bots. And then the profits that trading bot makes will help pad the liquidity pool that's used to fund the LMS. So what people generally worry about, their main concern with LMS system is what if that liquidity pool runs out of liquidity? But what Furio is trying to do here is they're going to use the trading bots to generate additional liquidity so they can pad that liquidity pool. What that does is that just adds liquidity, and of course it makes the project so much more sustainable. So this type of implementation is mind-blowing, and it will really help the longevity of this project. So of all the new updates that have come out recently, this is probably one of my favorite ideas. And based on how they've implemented everything else, I'm willing to bet that they're going to implement this very well and very clean as well. So if you're already in Furio and you want to get in on this, if you're a 2.5% club member, the first 30 minutes or an hour after it goes live on the 11th, anybody who's in that 2.5% club will have access to purchase in before the rest of the group is. So that should be pretty awesome for the whole team. I'm excited for all of you guys. Like I said, I'm definitely going to get at least one to start, and I will try to make sure that I record that when I do it. That way I can pass that info along to you guys in case it's something you're interested in doing as well. And if that wasn't enough, another thing's about to come out, which is their casino. Sounds like they're going to have sports betting as well as all the usual games. They've had that in the queue for a while. They've been, doing some other stuff like the LMS and the Furio pool and all that. So they've been waiting to release this. But in the next 2 weeks, that's going to go live as well. That's going to give an access point for all the degenerates to gamble. And that group of degenerates, of course, includes me. I'll probably do some sports betting and stuff on it, just have some fun with it. But that just gives one more additional utility and use case to Furio. So I think Furio has gotten past that initial stage that's always really worrying. There's a whole list of boxes that projects need to check before they can technically become sustainable. And right now, I think Furio has actually checked most of those. Once they get all the rest of this stuff set up and everything is fully live over the next maybe let's say 2 months, they plan to start with marketing efforts, which should drastically increase the user base. So I'm really excited to see where these things go. As it is right now, my wallet should max out sometime in January. And the idea for me is to utilize some of that capital that I've gained through the Furio vaults and leverage that into other parts of their ecosystem. Pick up more of those trading bot NFTs, utilize more of it in the casino. I'm gonna try to plug a lot of it into that USDC pool because who doesn't wanna earn more stable coins? So anyway, I know I forgot a lot of stuff because they've been coming out with stuff what feels like every 2 weeks. But so far, I'm really impressed with the team. I'm liking the platform, and they're making all the right moves to increase the longevity of this project. If you're interested in Furio, I'll put my link and information down below if you'd like to join my team. We've got a bunch of people on the team now. I think we've got 95 or something like that. Yeah, 95 people on the team so far. We got a great team of helpful people in the Telegram chat and all that, so feel free to join. I've been asked by a few different people to do another like fresh start video of getting started from the very beginning, just a step-by-step tutorial. So I might do another one of those here soon, just to show some of the new user interface stuff. But if not, I'll try to link at the end of this video the first video I did that showed you actually how to get into Furio. But anyway, guys, I like it. The truth is, it's made it quite a ways. They've gotten out of that first 100-day red zone. It's doing really well, and right now I'm really happy with the project. So anyway, let me know what your favorite part of the project is. Let me know if there's specific videos that you'd like to see because you're struggling understanding something. I'm happy to create any content that's needed. So thanks, guys. Happy investing.